Okay. Yeah, I need to go back to the 15. Okay, yeah, now I can see everything. I don't see the comments on there, but anyway, if you can see comments, right? So anyway, for those of you guys tuning in now, we're about to get underway. Sorry, we're still just kind of trying to work out the kinks as far as the feed. Um, I This is my first time doing the remote commentary, so I'm watching from home and commentating remotely. These guys are at Main Street Billiards. So can everybody hear me all right on the feed? Oh, I thought the flag, but we went ahead and flipped instead. So it looks like if I called that correctly, I think it was Nick calling it the background. So he'll be up to break. So this is best two out of three sets, bases to nine, eight ball on the 7 foot table, 7 foot diamond. Joey Ryan, he's a 695 Fargo. Nick DeLeon, 711 Fargo. I don't really have any predictions for this match. I think that between the two of them, Nick is probably playing more pool. I know Joey's been pretty busy working on his podcast, but this is eight ball on the bar table, and Joey plays this game pretty well. So um, we are going to see. So it looks like he did pocket a ball. The only real problem here, well, I shouldn't say the only real problem, the 13 and the 15 both present a problem if he's going to try to run out here. The 15 may go in the side pocket. He'll want to get that 11 ball out of here quickly. If he were going to go for the out, I would go for the 11 right here after this shot to clear that 9 ball up. So it looks like the 15 may, well, he could shoot it up in the corner. So, like I said, the only real problem balls here are the 15 and the 13. And it looks like he's going to try to take care of the 15 right now. So hard to tell from here if the 14 passes the 8 in the side. I kind of think it does based on the pattern he's playing. If it doesn't, obviously he can shoot it down here in the lower right-hand corner pocket, but or he can try to get on the 9 here, and then from the 9 he can shoot the 14 in the left-hand side pocket. But looks like must go. He'll shoot this in the corner, I think, and just kind of pop over for the 9 in the upper right-hand corner pocket. Uh-oh. Ooh. Okay, well, I do know that they recently recovered all the tables. I don't know if all the 7 foot tables got it as well, but if they did, that will make the pockets play especially big, or rather forgiving. So it looks like this first game is going to go to Nick with a break and run. Now, I don't know if they are alternating the break or if they're playing winner break. I actually don't know that. But okay. So in the background here, you guys can't hear him, but Junior's in the background. He can hear me and I can hear him. So he did just inform me it's winter break. So both these guys playing with Q-Tech shafts now. Obviously, everybody knows that Nick is sponsored by Q-Tech, but recently Joey tells me that he won a Jack Madden cue. I don't know if Jackie Madden's still making cues. That's kind of a blast from the past name for me, but he's playing with a Jack Madden cue, and he has a Q-Tech Synergy shaft on his cue. So both of these guys are playing with Q-Tech Synergies. Joey's breaking with a Predator BK Rush. Nick, of course, breaking with the Q-Tech break cue. Well, he broke him pretty nice again. 10 ball's the only real consideration here. He's got to get nice on the 10, but other than that, looks like he's going to take care of it right now. I'd be looking to shoot, if he goes for this, I'd probably be looking for the 10, 13, 11, 12, something like that, and play the 9 or the 14 last before the 8. But the balls just all sit pretty nice together. 13, 11. Right now it's looking like 13, 11, 12, probably the 14, the 9, then the 8. Well, if Nick keeps breaking them good like this and getting rewarded like this after the break, be pretty tough to beat. I would say that about both players. But right now, Nick's the one at the table and keeping the run going. So Nick takes a 2-0 lead. Obviously, here at Main Street Billiards, masks are mandatory, so you see both players wearing a mask. I have mixed emotions about the mask. At one time, I thought, oh, it's stupid. Shouldn't have to wear them, yada, yada, yada. But then I caught COVID and actually was not doing too well for a couple weeks. And now I'm thinking, like, maybe I'll wear a mask. Wasn't a fun time. Anyway, here we are. Start of game number 3. Nick's up the break. And that's interesting the way, because it didn't seem like he was going to get the same spread there, but just at the last minute, everything kind of opened up nicely. So he has, I think he can probably make it work with either set of balls. If he goes with I mean, really, he can make it work with either. Um, see which route he elects to go here. He's taking the 14 first. Going with the stripes, the one thing I noticed right off the bat is that it, with the exception of the 15, all the other balls were right down there, right on the same side of the table. So he really just kind of had to, play the half court game there for all the balls. Versus if he had went with the solids, they were kind of spread out around the table a little bit more. This could be a little funny here. He's going to have to land awfully good on this 11. He's going to have to. Looks like he's considering shooting it up here, up in the lower left-hand corner pocket. If he does that, and he gets on the wrong side, that could get a little tricky. See what he does here. He hit that real nice. Except for, is the 6 ball going to come in there? No, I think he got there. Now I would try to probably just stay high and take a little bit of a cut on the 15. You're playing on a 7 foot table. If you try to get down here and get perfect, you risk maybe getting behind the 4 or something funny. But he got down here. I think that he might have introduced a little unnecessary risk by coming this far down, but he pulled it off, and it looks like game number 3 is going to go to Nick, and the only thing Joey did was sit there and watch Nick call the coin flip. So he dogged it. Oh, okay, yeah. So Junior did flip the coin for Joey. So really, that was his first mistake. You let Junior flip the coin. You got you got to flip it yourself so you know what you're doing when your opponent calls what. Put the flip down. So after game number 3, Nick's broken run 3 in a row here. He's going to be pretty tough to beat if he keeps doing this for anybody. So see if he has the same success on this break. Looks like he's actually hitting the. I'll have to really pay attention the next time. It actually looked to me like he's hitting the 3rd ball down. Now that rack, I would say that he probably didn't, because he hit those. To me, it looked like he hit it the same as he's hit all the other breaks, but the balls didn't spread quite as nicely. So he might not have taken his time to make sure that he got a pretty solid rack. Sometimes with the triangle racks like that versus a template rack, a little bit of inconsistency in how they rack every time. And look at this. The one time he comes up empty, he didn't leave. There's a little bit of work here to run out. I think there's a little bit of work no matter which route he goes, because if he decides to go with the solids, the 3's sitting there. Looks like he's shooting at the 15. And that's not a bad shot, because if he were to take the solids, that was probably the most problematic ball, and he just took care of it right now. Now he's sitting pretty good. Probably just shoot the 9-13 combination right after this. One thing when you have something like this, like the 9-13 combination, you don't want to. He would like to go ahead and get it out of the way now. He doesn't want to wait until he plucks off a couple more balls, because every time when you're playing 8 ball or some game other than a rotational game, all the balls on the tables, they represent an option for the shooter, for the guy at the table. So if you run down to where you only have a couple balls left on the table and then you go after a combination like that, well, if you don't hit it just perfect and get shape on the next ball, you're kind of out of luck. Whereas if you still have several balls on the table, you hit the combination, it doesn't turn out exactly how you plan, and you probably still have an option with another ball. In this case, he hit it perfect and came up good on the 9. Although this shot, I think he mishit that a little. He didn't want to roll that far forward. He's going to have to come with something good here. I'm gonna mute my mic so I can take a drink of my Starbucks coffee. Hold on. So he obviously didn't want to clip that ball. He wanted to get himself in a position where he was almost in the middle of the head string, because then he could have shot the 10 in the side or the 11 in the corner. Now he's got himself worked into a spot where he's going to shoot the 10 in the side, or I'm sorry, the 11 in the side. So, as I was saying earlier, that when you're playing a game like this where you have, you know, multiple balls on the table and each ball is essentially some option for you to do something with one ball. This is one of the worst positions to be in, where your opponent has multiple balls on the table, meaning he has multiple options and you only have a couple balls. So, because there's a lot of if you end up getting into a safety battle in that situation, you're usually uh, at a pretty big disadvantage. However, I don't think this is going to turn into a safety battle. Nick's going to play to get out here. I think if he wanted to, he could almost just draw into the one. I don't think there's any real risk there, unless he were to happen to get completely married to the one ball. But I mean, just go into it at a speed where that's not going to happen, because then you'll have the 6 on the side, the 3 in the corner, or even the 5 in the corner if you happen to come off that one ball a little funny. From here, it looks like he has the option to do that. But he's going to shoot the 2 and then probably either the 5 or the 3. Yeah, I kind of still liked. I expect him to get out. I do, but I still kind of liked earlier shooting the 7 and maybe just drawing the cue ball into the one and staying on that side of that 5-3-6, because from that side it was easier to take care of those balls. Now he's forced himself into where I think he has to shoot the 3, and I think he does have to try to draw back a little bit and shoot the 7 next. Oh, he uh, he worked it out, as they say in Vegas at BCA. You go to the BCA tournament, that's all you hear. Work it out during the team event. Well, Joey did have a chance at the table, and after he came with that first shot, where he took that first stripe ball, I want to say it was like the 14 or something. I would have expected him to be the favorite to get out there, but when you lose the flip, and then the first time you get up to shoot, you're down 3-0. Sometimes it can be a little hard to get started. So Nick gets to the table and makes a nice out, takes a 4-0 lead. We'll see. Now I want to pay attention to this break again, because the last time he broke, to me, it looked like he hit the third ball down. So in this particular case, it looks like he's hitting the 14. We'll see if my I just saw that wrong or what. No, he did. He hit the 14. Okay. Well, again, what I said the last time, and it's just so funny how often this happens like that. Nick broke the balls great the first three breaks. The balls spread out nicely. Really had his choice of whether he wanted to take the stripes or the solids. But now he's broken dry a couple times, and the balls haven't spread out so nicely. So I would expect to see some sort of safety battle or something along those lines take place in this game. This doesn't look like a game where you're just going to jump up and go for the out. He's got the nine. I don't think the nine goes from looking at the table here. I mean, it might because it's so close to the pocket. It might throw if you hit this bottom side of. I can't tell what ball that is tied up to the nine. I think it's the 15. It might go, and in that case, there might be an out here. Okay. Or it might be like not even close to not going, and I just can't tell because I'm looking at the computer. The more I look at it, I'm thinking, yeah, it might go. So he was looking to clear those balls, that 13, clear those balls away from the 13 a little bit more, and he was using the 10 as an insurance ball because he had the 10 right there in the side pocket, but he didn't get the movement on the 7 ball that he wanted, I think. So now he's got the 13 kind of tied up. I think it can still go. If he were straight in on the 10 here, where he could just stop the ball, I think he could still make the 13 from where the 10 is, but obviously he didn't get there. He's not straight in on the 10, so he's going to have to do something different. Okay, well, that answers that question. Went no problem. Now, can he see the 13 from here to make it? I don't think so. The 13 and the 10 are both pretty tough. Well, the 10 is not so bad because it does go in the side pocket. But that 13 is kind of tight because he has to get in a pretty particular spot to make it. And even the 8 ball really only goes in. I mean, one pocket that you're going to try to play for, and that's the upper left hand corner pocket. It will go in the lower left hand corner pocket, but that would be like a I got way out of line and have no other option shot. Hmm. Not sure what he was trying to do there. Yeah, he might have been trying to. He thought he was going to get some kind of pop on that ball, and then the draw would take place, and he could get that cue ball to break up the 13. But well, yeah, it looks like he's looking to play the 10 off the 8. Um, if he makes it and he can stop the cue ball like pretty close to right there, well, now the 13 is worse. So here's a situation that you see in 8 ball all the time. Guy goes for the out early in the game, doesn't get out. Now he's down to where he has 2 balls left. Nick can really just bunt around here, and as long as one of either two things, if Joey doesn't come with some sort of Hercules shot, or Nick doesn't just do something really silly, um, Nick is at a huge advantage at this point. Joey only has a couple balls he can hit. Um, only one of his balls is doing any good for him right now, and that's the 13 ball by keeping the 7 ball tied up. Um, But eventually, with Nick having all his balls on the table, and he can go ahead and just bunt around, and as long as he's patient and just doesn't do anything crazy, and like I said, as long as Joey doesn't make some kind of Hercules shot, then Nick is in a pretty good spot like this. So that was a nice hit. He did lay it in front of a hole, which makes at least something that Nick has to think about. He's just going to get this cue ball to the left side of the table over here. Now, I don't know the answer to this question. You guys uh, can't hear, but I can actually hear Junior, so I'm going to ask. Are they playing three foul rule? Okay, so no, there is no three foul. Yeah, and that's actually why I was asking, because I was thinking that the position that Joey was in right now, he'd be better off trying to move some of Nick's balls around. But so now Nick's just going to put this pocket the 10 ball, put the two in front of the corner pocket, and now it's dare I say pretty close to checkmate. And that's the problem with when you go for the out in the eight ball, especially early in the game when all the balls are on the table, and you go for the out, then you end up not getting out with only a couple balls left on the table. You put yourself in a really difficult position to win that game. And from that point, Joey hasn't done anything wrong. It's just he's at such a steep disadvantage with Nick having all the balls on the table and having the luxury to just bunt around and do whatever he wants. Hmm. Not sure I follow there. That was one where I may have just even banked the one into that 8-6, mess, and kind of broke that up and just stuck the cue ball right where the one ball is. Because again, all Nick really has to do is be patient here, and well, he got the same result out of it. And I just barely figured out that I can see comments. I'm watching. I'm watching on the YouTube channel, the YouTube stream, and I have the rendezvous stream up on the other monitor. And this is why I was asking a minute ago if there was a three foul, because in the position that he's in, you know, Joey's probably going to intentionally foul a lot because there's no benefit to him trying to hit the 13 if he's hooked and risk breaking up the 7 for Nick. But that was a good shot what he just did there, because had he not tied the 6 up, Nick could just play the one on the side right here and break the 7 up or whatever he wants to do. But now Nick has a couple balls tied up. Yeah, he may look to try to. It looks like he's going to try to tie the 6 up with the 8 again, which he did. This isn't a bad play at all. Nick's just going to get that 6 ball completely away from the 8 ball, so he takes that option away. Of course, he inadvertently tied it back up with the 7, but but I don't think I would. Okay, the way he was queuing up, it looked like he was queuing up toward the 3, and I was thinking to myself, I wouldn't touch that 3 ball. At least that's in a kind of a tricky spot. But Joey's a good 8 ball player, and strategically, he knows all the moves and stuff. Both these guys, I mean, I think both these guys have played enough 8 ball over the years that they both. I don't see either one of them making any big mistakes. He is going to go for the hit this time. Okay. Well, look out! Can he squeeze that ball through there? I can't tell from watching on the monitor, but it looks like he may even almost have a window to cut that ball in. Well, assuming the 7 passes that, he's should take a 5-0 lead here. I expect to see Nick get out from here. Although I think he wasn't 100% committed to where he wanted to get after that shot because it looks like he kind of got on the 50-yard line. Now, here, if he could just pop all the way over for the 3, that'd be nice because then the 3-1-8 is like tic tac toe. If he shoots the 1 and the 3, he's going to have to get. Well, if he now he has to come with a little bit of a shot, I think. He may be drawing to the bottom rail with a lot of right hand English and trying to come off that bottom rail and spin toward that right hand side cushion, just like that. He hit it perfect. He's going to have to pop this with a little bit of speed because he has to get back across the table for the 8 in the upper right hand corner pocket. And Nick does take a 5-0 lead. Joey just hasn't really had an opportunity to get much going. Right out of the gate, Nick won the flip and he broke and ran three. Then he broke dry a couple times in a row now, but both times he broke dry, he didn't leave a great opportunities. The rack before this, I thought that Joey probably should have ran out, but again, he's sitting there uh, uh, watching the guy run the first three racks, and the first opportunity he gets is kind of a funky little run out, and he just didn't get there. So Nick hit those ones a little harder than he has been hitting. I think that maybe the last couple racks of coming up dry, he's decided to put a little bit more power into it. But again, look at this. He came up dry again, and sometimes the you know sometimes the pool gods they know what's happening. This game will make you superstitious sometimes. He's got a couple little things to contend with. The two ball, of course, the 4-2 goes pretty easily with the two where it's at. I think the three balls is big concern at the moment. He would have liked to fall dead straight on the one ball. That would have been pretty nice because then he could have shot the three ball short side up in the upper right hand corner pocket. But well, he hit that real nice. Now he's in a good spot. He should be able to get on either the four or the one from here, or the five for that matter. Now, if he could get, if he could get from our perspective, kind of to the left of the 15 onto the five ball, then he'd be perfect because then he could just get straight in on the one and shoot the eight in the side pocket. But I don't know if he's going to go to the one from here or go to the five from here. This is perfect because now he can go to this left hand, or I'm sorry, the right hand side rail with. I don't want to say perfect. He probably would like to not be quite as close to the rail, but he's going to draw with a little bit of left hand English and try to come almost get as straight on the one as he can off that rail, just like that. All right, it's looking like Joey's going to get on the board. All right, he gets on the board, 5-1. uh, but especially playing winter breaks on the bar table like this, this could this could turn around. You just gotta stick with it. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he breaks these balls, especially watching after, for whatever reason, the first three breaks that Nick broke. I really do think it has to do some with the reason with the inconsistency in the break. I think part of it has to do with just the fact that when you're using the triangle rack like that, I think sometimes the balls don't rack exactly the same unless you put a lot of effort into it to make sure it racks just the same. But he looks like he's breaking head on. He's going for the head ball break. He's looking to break and run out. He's not looking to. Yeah, that's pretty chilly right there. Nick steps to the table with ball in hand and everything's sitting right there. So if he's going to take stripes, I'd probably be looking at, I don't know, be nice to get something out of the way with that 9 and 11. But I was gonna say if he's gonna take solids, get like to be nice to get the 3 ball out of there. So and that's exactly what he's gonna do. I'm not seeing much chat on the stream. Hopefully everybody can hear okay. I just got a text from Mike Pankoff. He's out there watching. What's up, Pancake? Huh. Well, that definitely. I wonder what he was. I think he just mishit that a little bit. You got to think he was trying to draw that cue ball a little bit, and he just mishit it. I don't think he was trying to go forward with the cue ball because I mean he's a good enough player. He knows the 5 ball's not coming down here. Well, now we're in a situation as we were last game, except for the opposite side. Although this isn't quite the same situation. The last game I think the game I'm sorry the game before last, Nick had probably 6 balls on the table. Joey had 2, and one of them was tied up. So, but this is still I think, yeah, he's not gonna duck around. He's got an out. He's gonna go for it here. I think he can safely go into the 9 and 11 just like that. There really wasn't a lot of bad things that could happen. The 13 ball was an insurance ball if he were to happen to get uh, kind of funny on anything else. Well, nothing's looking easy for Joey right now. That's the one spot he could get to make it a little bit tough. But sometimes it goes like that if you're down 5-1. But he's going to get out of it. Probably just go to the end rail with a little bit of inside English, just to go to this top rail with a little bit of inside English. Just to stay on the right hand side of the table a little bit. And Joey's going to get another game under his belt right here. Looking at 5 games to 2. So let me see. Joey did tell me some stuff here about his playing cues. I think I mentioned it a little bit ago. Um, that he recently won a Jack Madden cue, so I'm assuming that's what we're looking at there. And he picked up a Q-Tech Synergy, so he's Both he and Nick, of course, Nick's sponsored by Q-Tech, so all his stuff is Q-Tech. Um, Joey's breaking with the BK Rush break cue. That is a nice break cue. I have the BK2, the older BK2, which I still like enough that I haven't felt the need to rush out and buy a, no pun intended, rush out and buy a Rush. Let's see if Joey can get something going here. The 313 got a little funny. I kind of, I just don't think, I don't know that he has a shot to do it. I think he'd rather take the stripes here because that that lone three ball sitting over there is kind of tough to get to when you don't have anything else around it. Whereas the 13 ball, if you have stripes, is a lot easier to get to because you have the 15, the 10, the 9. You have all these balls that are in close proximity that you can do something to get to that 13 ball. But I think Joey might, unless he wants to play the combination or a back cut on the 5 ball. Uh, no, he's going to take it. I think he was in a spot where unfortunately, he has to take the. He could try to go into the 3 ball right here. He's got the 1 ball if he bumps into it. But yeah, that was a situation where he would have liked to take the stripes, but he just didn't have a good shot to do it. Mike Williams tuned into the stream. What's up, Mike? It is currently 5 games to 2 in the first set. Nick leads. Um, this is a best of 3 sets, so whoever wins this has to win at least 2 sets. Well, 2 sets, not at least 2. I'm a mathematician. So, and this is where he's going to run into, and exactly why I said earlier, he would have liked to take the stripes, but he doesn't really have anything up there around the 3 ball to. Oh, unless he can see the 3 ball. I never even considered that. Looking at the monitor here. Okay, well, looking at the monitor here, it didn't even look like the 3 ball shooting it straight in was an option. So I apologize. So, in case anybody is wondering, I'm actually not at the pool room. I'm at home commenting remotely. So I'm watching. I'm watching the feed on my screen, and sometimes it's a little difficult to see angles. Well, it looks like he's. I mean, if he could go into the 13, and I think that's what he's looking at because he has an angle to where naturally, I think if he hits it with some follow and kind of favors the right hand side of the side pocket, I think he can go into that 13 just like that. Oh, hmm. Well, Nick steps to the table with an opportunity he definitely was not thinking he was going to get. Well, this is a little bit different situation, even though Joey only has the one ball on the table. It's hanging in the holes. So if Nick were to play safe and hook him, he needs to make sure he really locks him up good, because if Joey makes a good hit, then he has a good chance of making the ball. He might be able to jump this. I don't even think he has to jump much of it. Well, if he does pull out the jump cue, he did tell me he's using a Lomax jump cue. Yeah, I don't think he has to. I mean, he only has a sliver of the ball. Yeah, he didn't even have to jump it. Okay. Well, that was interesting turn of events. Both Joey missing that ball and Nick leaving him there. So, all right. Um, kind of an error by both players there at the end of that game. So anyway, it'll be 5 games to 3 after 8 games, and now it's a match. 5-3 isn't a whole lot different than 5-0. Joey can, and the way Joey's breaking the balls, I actually like to break them the way he's breaking them too, like this on the bar table, because if you just cannot scratch, um, you usually make a ball if you get a good solid hit on it, and you know him being behind like this, uh, obviously it'd be pretty advantageous for him to break and run some racks. So I like the way he's breaking the balls. I actually don't even know why that second and third ball break ever got so popular, but of course I'm saying all this and now he he ends up getting kissed in the corner pocket. That was he controlled the cue ball well. He just got unlucky that he got kissed. So here we are. He has a little something to think about no matter which what is he doing? Is he shooting the six off the eight? Okay. I don't think he has much option. I think he has to shoot the. Is he shooting the combination on the 2-3? These guys come walking right by the. You guys are you guys watching these guys come walking right by right when on Nick's final stroke. See, I don't think he plays for the one ball here. I think he plays for the seven. Because playing for the one ball, he has to just bunt it, and then he's likely to end up underneath the one. I think he plays for the seven here in the side pocket. That was a good place to put it because he gave himself a couple options. He could play the one or the seven. Hey, my buddy Frank the Barber's online. Thanks, Frank. So, well, he got about as perfect as he could get on the five ball there. Well, Nick takes a 6 games to 3 lead after 9 games. That was I was just talking about how I liked how Joey was breaking the balls, and the only real, the big risk was controlling the cue ball, and he did control the cue ball, but he got kissed into the pocket. So unfortunately, that's the way this game goes sometimes. So we'll see if Nick sticks to his third ball break. He's been hitting from in this particular case, it's the whatever that strike ball is behind the 13 on the left hand side of the rack. That's the ball he's been hitting. In the first few racks, the ball's spread great like that, but then he hasn't had as much luck since then. It looks like those nice results are coming back. He could really, I believe he'll take the stripes here just because he has the best opportunity to get started. I don't think he can see the three ball. Um, Either way, he's good, whichever route he decides to. But I think the stripes is his real option. So I like to just get rid of the 10 right here after this, and then now everything's just kind of sitting up there. You would have liked to, I don't think you wanted to get that close to the 10. I would have probably tried to hit that with a little bit of inside English and just get rid of the 10. Kind of what was like some of the old straight pool players, one of the old, straight pool wisdom was kind of clear the pockets and clear the rails. So you have this 10 ball sitting down here on the rail. Um, and it's really the only ball that doesn't really lead to anything else. So I probably would have tried to pluck that out of the way and then get up here for these balls, but I still would expect him to get out here. Nick has a lot of firepower. He's a good shot maker too. So uh, I think if he gets himself out of line a little bit here and there, or you know plays a pattern that he likes, more than another, I think sometimes he can shoot his way out of it because he's a good he executes good and he shoots straight. And he's on the perfect side of this ball to just roll straight up for the 8. Nick leads 7 games to 3 after 10 games. So out of the 7 games he's won, he's broken around 4 of those games. He broke around the first 3 games of the match, and then he just broke around that rack. So well, in both sets of balls, I think are negotiable. There's out to make with both of them, but you got to work with the first shot you have here. And I think as the balls are probably going to dictate that he takes the stripes. See, if I were Joey, I'd be looking to how can I get down to this 15 as quickly as possible. I don't want to run out of options before I have to get to this 15 ball. Um, that would be the real kind of trap here. I think is that if you end up shooting a bunch of balls to get to the 15 before you get there, then you might limit your options on how to get nicely on it. But I think he's fine. And the only reason I didn't, don't particularly like the 15 is just because the four ball. Because if you get on top of the 15, now you have to get a good angle on the 15. Because if you get on top of the 15, the cue ball is going straight into the four, and then it's a little unpredictable from there. So he really needs to get a good angle on this 15 so that he doesn't end up stuck down here on the end rail. May have gotten kind of straight. Hard to tell from here. He may have enough angle to go two rails here. If he doesn't want, yeah, he might. I think he's going two rails with a little bit of inside English. Well, he's just kind of swing around two rails and get to the middle of the table. He overhit it a little bit, but I expect him to make the shot. All right, well, he's still in there after 11 games. Nick leads 7 games to 4. I'm not going to jinx him on the break this time. Of course, I might have just jinxed him by saying I'm not going to jinx him. So, once again, for those of you who might be just tuning in, this is the first set uh, in a best 2 out of 3 races to 9 for looks like they have 1,000 in the middle. And here we go. See if he can avoid one of these pockets with the cue ball. That's definitely the more productive, I think, way to break. It's just a little risky in that if you turn the cue ball loose or scratch or something like that, most of the time you leave your opponent pretty good out. Now this is the 1 ball. I believe that's the 11 ball that it's tied up there with. It's kind of the first thing I see. Well, now the 14's an issue. See, this is a game for me. Of course, I'm not at the one at the table. I'm just saying my thought process. Um, he's probably going to end up having a duck here, at some point. So while I still have enough balls on the table that I have options if I get into a safety battle, I would probably just go ahead and look to play safe rather than because he has one ball that's open here, and that's a 12 ball. Um, if he happens to, make some kind of Houdini shot or something and get two balls out of this and then have to play safe, now he's at a real big disadvantage. So I would, my thought process is I would probably try to enter into the safety battle while I still had enough options on the table to where I wouldn't be at an extreme disadvantage. Now, if this three-way combination goes, then take everything I said and safely forget every word of it. Bill, that is the correct score. 7-4 is correct. Nick's leading 7 games to 4. So he's going to have to get on some short side of this 14. It looks like he's going to try to come to the side rail underneath it or hit it. That works. Well, he does have a bank. I think it goes. I think the 4 ball is far enough over here. It's not in his way. So he does have a bank in this lower right-hand corner pocket that he just called. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to smack my mic. Sorry if that was loud for everybody. Um, I'll make an observation. It's when I watch Nick running the balls here, um, I played kind of a lot of straight pool, um, and have seen other straight pool players play, and studied that game a bit. And Nick plays kind of like a 9 ball player, and he is a 9 ball player, a 10 ball player, and a rotational player. Because if you watch, people who play a lot of straight pool in particular, or even one pocket, they put themselves in a lot of positions where, especially when there's a lot of balls on the table, they'll put themselves in positions where they have multiple shots. If you see a few balls laid out in a oh, look at this. I'll get back to that thought in just a second. But where he had a few balls up here in the upper portion of the table, from our perspective, above the side pockets, there was a couple spots there where if he had the cue ball in one spot, he would have had a shot on 3 different shots to shoot at instead of just playing position for one of those particular balls where he doesn't really have a good angle on either of the other 2 shots. So now he has to shoot the one shot he was playing position on versus putting the cue ball in a position where he had options with all 3 balls. So when you watch people who have played a lot of straight pool or even played a lot of one pocket, because there are elements of straight pool in one pocket. Um, you just notice the differences in people's choices of how they play position. That turned out pretty nicely. Looks like he's playing it off the 8. Is that what he's doing? Oh no, he's just cutting it straight in. Yeah, I don't know. Well, if he slides this cue ball just over here by this left-hand corner pocket, got to get a little further though. I think this song is killing both of them. I don't know what this music is in the background, but it's very uplifting. Is I know that you guys can't hear, but so for those of you just tuning in, I know I've mentioned it a couple times. I'm actually not at the pool room. I'm commentating from home. So I'm watching this on the screen. Uh, Junior, there we go, 7 games to 5. Junior, I can hear Junior and we can talk to each other, but you guys can't hear him. So I'm going to ask Junior this question: was this table just recently recovered too? Okay, okay. So the answer to my question was no. This cloth is still older cloth because I know that they've been recovering tables at Main Street um, this past week, and I wasn't sure if they had recently recovered this. All right, well, 7 games to 5. It is a game, although every game is still a big game because uh, next game that if Nick wins one more, he's on the hill, and that's obviously always I don't want to say a demoralizer, but there's definitely both for you if you're the person getting to the hill and the opponent when your opponent gets to the hill, there's always this sense of urgency that seems to creep in. So if he could keep him at 7, he'd be a lot happier than having to come back from his opponent being on hill. So he switched his break up this time. Well, typically, if you're going to get into a safety battle, you'd like to make some ball and establish your position with the balls that are sitting better. But I don't know that he has. Okay, he was going to play the 10 on the side. Yeah, I would say the stripes are probably sitting a little better because of where the sixth ball is. If he can Oh, okay, never mind. He's not doing what I was thinking for a second. Nice shot there. He had the 11 ball coming into the back of balls like that. He had the 11 ball sitting there for an insurance ball. So now I expect to see him get out here. Probably just bunt this in and go. Or he can try to draw to the side rail and back out to the middle, just like that. It's hard to tell from here how close that 12 ball is. See, the angle he's looking at it now, I like that angle better, being on top of the 12 rather than trying to squeak underneath it. You just have a bigger room for bigger margin for error. Get that perfect. Well, and it is looking like Nick's going to get to the hill. So, so this is game number 13. Nick leads 8-5. This is the first set, so they are playing a best 2 out of 3. One player needs to win 2 sets, so regardless of what happens here, there will be at least one more set. Oh. I think he almost has to take the stripes. I mean, I'm sorry, the solids. Because I mean, he has the 14 to shoot, but then he's just going to hang that 15 right there all by itself with no good way to get to it. So I think he was in a position where he had to take the solids. Well, he's going to rearrange a little bit of furniture here. The question is, where's it going to go? I think he's going to likely bump the 5, and if he doesn't bump the 5, he's definitely going to bump the 4. If he bumped just the 4, that's not necessarily bad. Uh, in fact, if he had the option to just go into the 4, that wouldn't necessarily be bad, unless it tied up with the 11 or something. If he can shoot the 6, that would be a nice shot to shoot. I think I think the 5 ball's in the way though. See, if he could shoot the 6, then he's in a much better position. Um, then he could just shoot the 4 on the side, and yeah, that 5 ball's in the way. So the issue here is, yeah, that is hitting the 5 first. There wasn't a whole lot of good things that were going to come out of that. And I didn't think he had an angle to where he could have with follow missed the 5 and just go into the 4. That would have been Okay. I think he just, unfortunately, he was in a spot where that was his only makeable ball, and there was no way to avoid the five. Oh, he's playing it off the 11. This isn't bad because he gets the four ball in front of the pocket. Even if he misses, if he at least hits it good enough, uh, he gets the four ball in front of the pocket. Um, I would probably, and I know what he might be looking at right now is to probably go into the back of these balls, shoot the 14 and go into the back of these balls and try to break them up. Which problem is that the 11 uh, or the 9, whichever he ties into, may end up going up and getting tied up with that cluster with the 3, 8, 5, 6. So that's just a consideration that he has to take into account here with that shot. I'm going to mute my mic so I can drink a little bit of my coffee. See, and what I was talking about earlier, uh, make sure I'm not muted here. Nick had a ball he could make, but he could see that probably he was going to end up in a situation where this was going to turn into a safety battle. So while he still has enough balls on the table to where he doesn't put himself in a deficit, meaning he doesn't have many options on the table, many balls on the table, and his opponent has a whole bunch of balls on the table, rather than working himself into that position, he went ahead and played safe now. Um, and I don't claim to say that's the right way or not the right way. I mean, I've watched some of the best players in the world. Like you watch Shane play eight ball, and it's just crazy. The guy just gets out all over the place. So, I mean, I think it it also has to do with your ability too. But I do think that if you feel you're going to get into a safety battle, um, go ahead and do it while you still have enough balls on the table to where it can actually be a battle and not you just your opponent just dinking behind six balls that he has on the table and you trying to do something with the one or two balls that you have left on the table. I think he was hoping to get on that 12 and he might have got there. I was before he shot that shot, I was thinking if I were gonna do that, I might try to hit it hard enough to the 9 goes to the end rail and back up. Um, but Again, I'm looking at it on the screen, and uh, it's hard to see the exact angle. I'm sure he's tempted to shoot the 4 in off the 9 and probably put the cue ball, if he can, uh, draw to this right hand side of the 11, maybe. Oh, there, okay. I thought he might have had an angle where he could have even potentially tried to hook him, but if he could have snuggled up to the right hand side of the 11, but then when he got down on the table, you could tell that probably that wasn't the angle he had. Well, it's kind of a tough spot for Joey. Nick does have the 14 sitting right there, something to where he can get started from almost anywhere, unless Joey does that. Nice shot. That was a very nice shot. So is he going to try to make his one ball? Maybe. It's not a bad strategy if you can start pocketing more of your opponent's balls to where you whittle away their options. Exactly sure. Hold up. He just got a little bit on the wrong side, so it looks like he's probably going to have to take a bank on the 6 ball. He'll shoot the 5 ball and play to get on the bank on the 6. Nice shot. Nice shot when he needed it. Okay, well, 8-6. Still in the first set, guys. 8-6. All right, see if he goes for this head ball break. I missed how he broke last time. It seemed like he broke him a little different last time he broke, but he's going for this head ball break here. Don't get kissed in. Yep, that's really the only, especially on the bar table too, when you have so many balls flying all over the place. It's condensed as it is, and you have 15 balls on the table. It is kind of easy to get that cue ball get kissed around. So uh, it's both of them, both sets of balls, I think, are fairly equal in terms of difficulty. I would think. I mean, the 14 and the 3 present the same challenge. I think, depending on uh, which set of balls you take. I kind of like this. I kind of like the stripes if he could get to them. I mean, he does have the 11 ball, but he's going to take the solids. Uh, I kind of like the stripes just because the 14 you had a little bit more options with the 14 than you did with the 3, and also where the 13 is sitting is really nice for where the 8 is. But I think it was really kind of player's choice, either uh, the stripes or the solids. The out was there, so it's whichever one he felt more comfortable with. Holy, that was not good. That is going to be a costly miscue. And he kind of didn't go through. I mean, at least that's the way it looked. Of course, whenever you miscue, something looks wrong, but it didn't seem like he went through that real smooth. So yeah, he'll shoot. Well, that's a little bit of a painful way to lose that first set, but barring the very unexpected here, we'll be on to set number 2 in just a minute. All right, Nick wins the first set, 9 games to 6. Want to give a quick shout out to Mike Gwynn and Jessica Gwynn. Thanks a lot, Mike and Jessica. Hope you guys are doing well. I know I've been kind of away from everybody for a while. I think uh, when this COVID stuff started, of course, and I think everybody out here on the stream knows that a handful of us here in the Phoenix area, myself included, we all got it over the summer. And then the pool rooms closed down for a while, and it's just been kind of slow going to get back into the scene, at least for me. So, okay. Gonna have a couple. So, thank you guys. I'm gonna give a couple shout outs to people who have donated money. Thank you guys so much. Robert Holzel, um, Dennis. Hopefully, I don't mess your name up. Is it Sosi or Saucy? Mike Laus, Bob Toy, and William Bakehouse. Thanks a lot, guys, and also Mike Gwynn. Thank you guys so much. That's awesome. Of course, you know don't have to, but I definitely appreciate it. Thank you guys very much. this is, I enjoy commentating as well. It gives me, even though I'm not playing, it gives me a little, I get to feel like I'm kind of part of the action a little bit. So it looks like they are going to take a quick break. Uh, if I were to recap that first set, and I'm trying to go back to, Joey had sent me some info the other day on Messenger, some stuff to kind of talk about um, what he's been up to. I because the microphone being used was coming from Junior's AirPods, and apparently they went dead, so he's got to stick them on the charger for a few minutes. Hopefully, you guys can still hear me. Either that or I'm sitting here talking to myself, which isn't all that out of character for me. So I'll just keep going. I don't think he wanted to come off that rail so much. I think he wanted to kind of stay high and shoot the 7 ball in this lower right-hand corner pocket, unless he was trying to go play the 7 in the side. But either way, I don't think he was trying to come off that side rail that much. So the 1 ball, that was a nice shot. Let's see if he gets something on this 1 ball, though. Or the 3 ball. If you can see the 3, this is nice. If not, if he doesn't have much ball to jump, I might be pulling out the jump cue on this. And if he has just a sliver of a like the 5 ball to jump on a 3, I know he has a nice jump cue. Or he might just be able to see it. It's hard to tell from here on the screen. I see the same thing you guys see. Yeah, I would have. That's one of those ones I would have liked to been able to see the table for that one to get a better idea what I really liked. But he obviously chose the 1 ball. And he's just going to snuggle this cue ball up behind that 10-13. The only thing there that was kind of, I think he kind of let the 15 ball go, in the sense that now, yeah, he might get ball in hand out of this, but now he's put the 15 in a pretty bad spot. This is kind of a tough hit. What's he going? 2 rails back and forth? That's what it looks like. Called the 3 in the side pocket. So I think he's trying to zigzag back and forth. This would be a great hit if he hits it. Very nice hit. That's a really difficult. Especially, it's kind of sometimes difficult to judge how that ball is going to come off of that second rail. So that was a really nice hit. So score update. This is the second set, and Nick leads 1 game to nothing. He broke and ran out the first rack, and broke dry the second rack, and left. Kind of a tricky ball layout, and now you are seeing the safety battle that is ensuing from there. It looks like he's going to go into those 3 balls at the bottom and try to break those balls up. My feed just got really choppy. I don't know if your guys' feed is choppy as well. So his issue now is obviously the 15 ball. He played a nice safe when he went off of that 15 and put it there, but he ended up getting in the 15 place in a spot where now it's kind of a problem that needs to be contended with. It looks like he could potentially be looking at shooting this 14 in and sliding down table to nudge the 15 or the 8 or something and have this 12 ball as an insurance ball, but that doesn't. That might be what he's looking to do here. I think he might be able to slide that cue ball past the 15, or I'm sorry, past the 5 ball Not exactly sure what he's. If that's not what he's doing, I'm not exactly sure what he's. Okay, well, I believe that is what he was trying to do by hitting at that speed. He was trying to go down here and make something happen. You know, there's kind of a something of note when you're playing safe. A lot of times, especially with rotation games, when you play safe, a lot of times just playing the cue ball is good enough. If you can get them really sewed up with a nice hook, that's that's good enough. Um, but even in rotation games, there should be some consideration of this. But especially in other games, you really need to consider a lot of times where you're putting the object ball as well. And this is just an example of something that could potentially go wrong when he played that safe where there was those three balls down up by that upper rail. It's actually the foot rail, I guess. But he did play a nice safe, and he got him locked up behind those balls pretty nice. But he stuck the 15 on this side rail, and that's actually the entire reason he's in this spot now is because of where the 15 landed. Uh, if the 15 would have landed somewhere else, he wouldn't have just played that shot the way he did because he would have had other options. So so while yes, he did play a nice safe and put the cue ball where he wanted. He's in this particular position. If you rewind it back and lead to the steps that go through the steps that led to this, it's that shot, putting the 15 ball where it is now. I don't know who that was that just said that in the chat, but that's funny. Is that Mike Pankoff? So it's looking like he's going to play for a bank in the side pocket. Um, he's going to shoot the 11 and just draw it back a little bit and play for a bank in the side pocket. I don't think he'll play for a bank in the corner. I mean, he can. It's there, but I think that he'll opt to bank for the corner for the side pocket. It's an easier shot to make. And he has sideboards with the three ball, it looks like. So I think that's where he's looking at right now. He's looking at because he's going to have to back cut the 15 a little bit on the bank. That's the angle he wants because of the 15 ball being so close to the rail. So I think he's just looking at how far back he wants to come for this bank. Oh, he's looking to bank it in the corner. Okay. I mean, obviously, the risk talking about my shot is that you're gonna go into the 8 ball with the cue ball, and so you're gonna bump some balls and stuff. But I'm just talking about strictly pocketing the ball. Uh, those side pocket banks are usually. So he opted for the tougher shot uh, with a better reward, but unfortunately, it didn't pay off for him. And Joey looks like he has a pretty good opportunity to tie this up at 1-1. So he looks like he's got a little bit of a tweener angle here. He'd like to be slightly straighter because then he could just draw straight back and shoot the 8 in the same pocket. Um, all right, 1-1. Well, it's definitely a better start than the last set. The last set, first 3 games, Nick broke and rattled off the first 3 games. So um, from Joey's perspective, he's got to feel better about the way this set's going. He's already in the fight, and it's still early in the game. Sometimes if you're, and I think Nick was off to like a five game to nothing lead or something in the first set. So sometimes it's easy to get discouraged in that situation. Although we all say not to and don't worry about the score and that kind of stuff. It's we're all human and fight that. So looks like he pocketed a ball. Ball spread nicely. Yeah, either set of balls works. I think he'll probably end up taking the stripes the solids just because that he has his first shot. Obviously the two ball, and he can control the cue ball well. If he goes for something else, he's going to have to. It's really not worth me finishing that thought because he didn't go for something else. But anyway, either set of the balls, the stripes or the solids would work. So I think I would like to pluck off the 6, 7, 3, 4, 1. The only reason I liked the route I said a minute ago was just because of where the 4 ball is. If that's your last ball, you got to get on the right, you have to be on the right side of it to get to the 8. Versus the 1 ball, which was already on the right side of the 8. He may end up having to shoot. See, I don't think he wants to. He definitely doesn't want to shoot the 7 because I think he's elevated and it's a thin cut. But I think the issue he might have is that he's going to have to go into the 11, which is why he's looking. Well, if he stopped it right there, if he just nudges into the 11 and stops the cue ball right there, he will have a good angle on the 7. So he's good. I read an article years ago when I was a kid. It was some article by Buddy Hall, and I can't remember if it was Billiard Digest or Pool and Billiard Magazine or something like that. One of the two magazines. Those were the two big magazines at the time, and he talked about 8-ball. And I think a lot of us do this now, so this is probably not any new knowledge, but it's just funny because I read this article when I was like 13 years old or something. So like 35 years ago, and it's for some reason it's always stuck in my head. But plotting your pattern in reverse, so like start at the 8-ball, and then look at the the key ball to the 8-ball, and then the key ball to the key ball, and so on and so forth. Start in reverse, and so when I was looking at that last rack, that pattern, that's actually what I was looking at. So 2 games to 1. About to start game number 4 here. I don't know what's going on with the feed. It looks like, I don't know if it's just on my end or if it's you guys as well, but I'm getting some delay in the stream. So once again, he came up with a pretty nice break. I would just get this 12, 15, 14 out of the way right now and then work my way down here. That way I don't have to go back and forth. I think he has a good chance to go off and he has a good chance to get to the 9. So if he just gets that 15 out of there right away, since he's going to shoot the 12 first, if you can, you'd like to avoid having to go up to one end of the table, then back down to the other end of the table, then back up to the other end of the table. If you could just get rid of what's going on one end of the table, then come down here and play what's on the other end of the table, that would be ideal. And that looks like exactly what he's doing. Yeah, I actually have two feeds going. I have the one feed going, which is the software that lets me commentate remotely. But then I also have the YouTube channel up so I can see comments and stuff like that. And it's the YouTube one that keeps freezing up for me. So now he's in a pretty good spot. Getting on the 11 was real nice. Because now he doesn't really have to, shoot the 9 and go into the balls and hope to make something happen. So looks like he's going to shoot the 13 though. Yep. Looks like if he gets out here, that's a nice out. I like the way he plucked all those balls off. There's a nice pattern there. He plucked them all off real nice. All right. Joey takes a 3-1 lead in the second set. Joey looks like he's playing with some more confidence this set. And again, I don't know how much, I really don't know how much Joey plays. Sometimes, if you're not playing every day, unfortunately, sometimes you have to take a few punches before you start to feel comfortable at the table. And unfortunately, I know that feeling all too well because I don't play a lot, and so a lot of times, I'll get up and play kind of timid or not with a lot of confidence until I get beat on a little bit and then realize, oh, well, that's the worst thing that can happen to me, so I might as well just go ahead and play now. Well, this is a little trickier to get out, this one. You got that 9 ball kind of presents an issue for both sets of balls, really. Let's see what he decides to do here. I think he can see the 13, and I would expect that to be the shot he shoots only because I don't know that I like playing a 3-ball combination. I don't think he probably wants to play a 3-ball combination either. So if he can shoot the 13, I suspect that's the ball he'll shoot. Plus, I do think that the stripes are laying a little better. Well, other than that 3-ball sitting there. So, like I said, both sets of balls have their issues. The 9-ball getting up to it off the 11, I think, is sitting a little bit better down there for the stripes, but sitting up here, you're limited on where you can shoot that 14 ball. Oh, so he actually had to jump that, it looks like. And I know he told me in a text message he's using a Lomax jump cue. I'm not familiar with that cue, although if it's the same Lomax that posts on AZ Billiards, I think his name's Steve Lomax. Well, he definitely has some work cut out for him this out. He's got a couple things to contend with. He's got that 9 to contend with. He's got the 14 to contend with. And he's running out of balls to get to those balls. So not because of anything he's done wrong. It's just that's the way the table has been laying. You know what? He came up perfect. And as good as he could have hoped for to get on that 11 from where he was, I think he hit it about as good as he could have hoped for. Now this is a real nice look. He has a nice little angle on the 9. He can draw over to this right-hand side cushion and shoot the 14 in the lower right-hand corner pocket. So he hit that real nice too. If he gets out from here, that's a nice out. You gotta, if he gets out from here, that's that was no gimme, and he navigated it really well. He would have liked to get a little bit more angle here. He would have liked to be up another 2 inches or so. That was a really nice out. I know that he made it look easy, but there was some problems to contend with there, and he made it look pretty easy. So that was a very nice out. And he is going to go up 4 games to 1. Sorry about the audio on the pool table, guys. We'll just have to blame Junior for his terrible planning and not having his AirPods charged. Of course, I'm just picking on him. I'm hoping he can hear me. It's a weird feeling for me though, because I'm just sitting here in total silence talking to myself. Well, I think he does have, I can't tell what ball that is, maybe the 10 ball. He could shoot that in the side. He could shoot the 3 ball in the corner. I can't tell if the 1 ball passes the 13. Um, Obviously, the 9 ball being in the way presents an obstacle for the solids. So yeah, it's looking like the stripes is sitting better. The 13 is open, the 9 ball's open, versus the stripes where it looks like the 1 ball probably doesn't go, and neither the 6 nor the 7 go in the upper right hand corner pocket because of the 9. So I would actually say the last two, and I know that it wasn't a real difficult out, but just the way he ran the balls, I thought the last 2 games, Joey. I mean, the last game was a difficult out, but the game before that, it wasn't a real difficult out. The way that he ran the balls, the pattern he played was real. I felt like the last few games we've seen, Joey's played some pretty good pool. I think he would have liked to fallen better on the 12 and take the 12 rather than the 14, which he still might. But I think if he had his druthers, as they say, he'd rather shoot the 12 ball. Well, is he straight enough that he can just roll it in and keep the cue ball above the 4 ball? Or does he have to go to the end rail? It's hard to tell from here. Looking at the screen, looks like he may have to go to the end rail. Yeah, he's elevating, which tells me he's going to the end rail. Wow. He's going to have to bust out that low max jump cue, I think. Wow. Well, that's too bad because he played everything so nicely. He just got a touch out of line there where he was forced to go down to that bottom rail. Now I haven't seen enough of Joey play to know like if if he's good with the jump cue or whatever. If this was Nick shooting, I'd have to put him at probably a slight favorite to make the ball. Or maybe more than a slight favorite. I don't know. He jumps pretty well. I am just not familiar enough with Joey's jumping game to know if I'd put him as the favorite here. I guess that answers the question. I'd say he's at 100% favorite to jump that ball in. You know, I'm happy, and not because I'm rooting for either player. I'm really not. I like both of these guys, but I am glad to see Joey make that because I thought he's played such nice pool the last few games that I hate to see the run end because of a shot like that. So I'm glad to see him jump that ball in, and he takes a 5 games to 1 lead. what a difference one set makes, right? Because this is, I think this is a score we were looking at last set. Only Nick was the one up 5-1. Actually, Nick was up 5-0. But this has been all Joey the last 5 games in a row. We haven't really seen Nick at the table much. It looks like he came up dry. And the balls are all laying pretty nice. I expect to see Nick take stripes just because of where I can't tell which ball this is. Maybe the 13. Although the 3 goes on the side, so it's really just whatever he wants to shoot. He could, yeah, either set of balls. That's too bad to break the balls like that, then not make a ball. But I definitely expect to see Nick get out here. You know, after sitting for so long and watching Joey put on a pretty nice display of pool, this is a nice out to step up to for Nick. Nice kind of get the arm working again, get the arm moving again, and just like that, it is 5 games to 2. So let's see here. My feed is frozen. I'm gonna mute myself and call Junior real quick. Sorry, guys, I muted for a second and called Junior because on my end, everything was frozen up. Although it wasn't my internet connectivity because I was fine getting to other websites and stuff on the internet. It was just for whatever reason this particular the feed here was frozen for me. But all right, so we're back to the action here. It is 5-2 in the second set. Here comes Nick with the jump cue. Now, I talked him up with the jump cue a minute ago, so yeah, I talked him up with the jump cue a minute ago, and look at that. So, I think he has ball in hand. I really feel like he's got to do something with the 14. He has to shoot that ball. That's the only ball really presenting a problem. I'd probably shoot this 12 ball last unless he shot the... Oh, he has the... What the heck? He has the solids. Sorry, guys. I am like out of my mind here. That whole thing, losing the feed for a second there. I forgot who had which balls. So, disregard whatever silliness I was saying a minute ago. I think his concern with shooting the 6 is that if he gets straight in on the 3, that he'll have a tough time getting back up to the 4 or 2. I think that's why he's looking at shooting this. This is, I mean, this is a 7-foot table. Pockets aren't playing particularly, crazy tough. I know it's not the easiest shot of what he's facing, but I think cutting the 2 in with just a little bit of outside English and floating back to roughly the middle of the table, he gives himself some options. Then he gives himself an option on the 6 or the 3. He'd like to ultimately land good on the 3, I think, where he could then float up and shoot the 4 and then the 6. I mean, the 6 is kind of in a funny spot. I know it's just hanging in front of the hole, but where the 8 ball is, he's going to have to get on the 8 and the side off the 6, and it's just kind of in a funny spot compared to the other balls. Let's see where he goes. I mean, I'd definitely rather play off of the 3 than the 6, and obviously so would he. That came off that rail a little bit funny, but he's okay, I believe. I'd probably hit this with a little bit of left-hand English to make sure I got to the second side, the spun 2 rails and got to the second right-hand side rail, just so I know where the cue ball's going. Ooh, okay, well, 6-2. He had a thinner cut on that. He had a thinner cut on that ball than I thought he had. I need to put the mic down, I think, for just 1 second here. Let's see what's going on. Well, I want to give another quick shout out to Wallace Clay for donating some money to the stream. Thank you very much. Again, I always, say you guys don't have to do it, but it's awesome when you do. So thank you guys, everybody who has donated. Thank you guys so much. And quick shout out to Mike Gwynn. You see his logo up there on the screen. He's always a sponsor of the events here that AZPOOL15 puts on. Mike Gwynn with Realty One Group. You see his picture and number down there in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, not the table. 15 gonna trickle in. Well, I kind of think right here, go ahead and get on the 3 if you can. I mean, he has a pretty good little angle to get roughly where he is now. So get on the 3. You got the 4 as an insurance ball because you're gonna come off that 3 ball into the looks like the 11 ball. Free up that 2 ball. Just needs to get past the 10. Well, now he's going to end up hitting this, I would think, a little bit different than if he was slightly straighter, but same thing going on here. He just has to get back into this 11 ball. He's likely to have a shot on the 2 ball afterward, and if not, he should have the 4 ball. Or the 6 ball. I didn't even see the 6 ball sitting right there. So now the question is, can he roll forward a little bit and cut the 1 ball in with enough control to hold the cue ball up to shoot the, swing around 2 rails and shoot the 7 in the same corner pocket, or is he going to have too steep of an angle? Be nice if he could make the 1 here. If the 12 ball wasn't in the way and he could make the 1, that'd be pretty nice, because then he could shoot the. But I don't. Obviously, that option's not available. Otherwise, I think he'd do it. He's going to opt for the combination. Man, a little tricky because he's trying to play position on the 7 ball. So the question is, can he roll it forward? The 7 ball come off the 1. He rolls the cue ball forward. 7 ball comes off the 1 and kind of goes slightly to the right. He rolls forward and shoots the cue ball, or shoots the 7 in the upper right-hand corner pocket. Or does he hit it kind of with some speed like this and get the 7 ball out of there? And I'm going to say, how about just like that? It's funny, this game, it's like just a couple millimeters one way or the other. If he would have been slightly on the, the 7 ball would have rolled another inch, he would have a totally different angle and be able to shoot the 8 ball up in the upper right-hand corner pocket, or sorry, upper left-hand corner pocket. But now, okay, he went ahead and played for the bank. And he leads 7 games to 2. This is definitely a different player than we saw the first set. I'm not saying he was bad the first set, but the first set he looked kind of uncomfortable, and this set he looks like he's not really making many mistakes. And Nick just hasn't been to the table very much. He tried to jump a ball a bit ago. So I don't think you can really say anything bad that Nick's done. He just hasn't been to the table much this set. Oh, I see Jack there. Thanks a lot, Jack. Both these players obviously want to win. They're friends. They are friends, but I think they're also, competitors, and I think both players feel it's a little bit of a feather in their cap to beat the other one. So it's nice to see Joey come out swinging this second set. This doesn't really have a great shot to get going here. This is kind of an interesting situation when you're in a spot like this because he doesn't really have a great shot to get going, and the balls are wide open. So he has to be careful not to give something up. Yeah, somebody's on the stream is saying play safe behind the three. That's not necessarily a bad shot. That's probably as good as any. Come off the 14 and try to, if you could snuggle the cue ball right up behind the three in the rail, that'd be a pretty nice place to put him. Oh, he's going offense. This is a very aggressive shot here. I mean, he doesn't have a lot to work with though, but this is an aggressive shot. And he hit it nice. Nice shot. I don't know that he's going to get a huge reward out of it. I think he's hooked on the 12. He didn't exactly get a great reward for it, but it was a nice shot. I think he's looking to see if the 9 ball passes the 7. I think that's what he's looking at, to see if it passes the 7. I mean, it does go in the left-hand side pocket if he wants to take a really thin back cut. And it looks like that's what he's calling. This is one of those situations where, he just made a really good shot and he didn't really get a great reward out of it. And now he has to come with another great shot, and he just wants to get some kind of a shot that's not like a shot like this, Okay, now he's got the 11 ball. He hit that real nice. He's definitely playing with a lot more confidence this set. He's hitting the balls pretty nice. Both the 13 and the 10 are sitting a little bit funny. I mean, they go, but you just have to get, you don't have a whole lot of room as where you can get to get to those balls. I'm not sure where he's looking to play from here. I think he obviously has a plan. He played to get there for a reason. I'm just not seeing what he's seeing yet. Very nice shot. Now, You know, he's doing stuff right now that I know it doesn't look like a big deal. Probably he's just bunting balls around, but what he just did there, I mean, he just put himself in the one spot where he has options, right? He can shoot the 10 or he can shoot the 13, and took really nice touch to get there. So I really gotta give him credit for how he's been playing these past several games. You know, little subtle things like that. You know, I know it doesn't look like much because he just bunted the ball and just kind of bunted it and slow rolled it, but that took a lot of control to get exactly there. So very very nice out. I'm pretty impressed with the way he's played this whole set actually. So he is on the hill, 8 games to 2. Jack Murray, I saw you donated something to the stream. Thank you very much, buddy. Well, the way he's been playing here, I mean, there's a little work to do in this out. It isn't like it's just everything sitting in the hole, but everything's open. Uh, I'm liking him to get out here. He might have got, as soon as I say that, he got in the one bad spot where I don't think he has much. He has a bank on the 2 ball. I don't think he would try to cut it in because I think he's going to be somewhat elevated. Yeah, he's going for the bank. This guy just hasn't missed anything for a while. He's in his zone. Think we're going to see the jump cue again. He could play this rail first. Play the 5-ball rail first. That's probably the better shot than trying to jump the 6-ball. Problem with jumping a 6-ball is even if you make it, where do you go from there? If he makes this ball, he's going to have position on the 7 more than likely. He's making the tough ones look easy right now.